English Snap Lab, where mastering English is as easy as a snap. One of the best ways to learn a language is through stories. They are emotional, interesting, and easy for our brains to remember. In this series, I tell famous stories from world literature in slow, clear, and simple English to help you understand more easily. While you listen, you will hear many useful English words and expressions. Today's story is a chilling masterpiece by Shirley Jackson, The Lottery. This story is perfect for learning social vocabulary, words like tradition, ritual, and crowd. We will also explore how to use language for building suspense. Before we begin, please take a second to give this video a thumbs up. Let's begin. The morning of June 27th was clear and sunny, with the fresh warmth of a full summer day. The flowers were blossoming profusely, and the grass was richly green. In this small village of only about 300 people, the whole day's activities, the lottery, and then the chores, could be finished in time for noon dinner. The children were the first to gather in the town square, experiencing a new sense of liberty now that school was recently over. However, as the boys began to quietly collect smooth, round stones, a strange feeling of suspense began to fill the air. Suspense is that nervous, excited feeling you get when you are waiting for something important or scary to happen. The boys made a large pile of rocks in one corner of the square and guarded it carefully. Although the atmosphere seemed peaceful, the adults were strangely quiet as they began to arrive and stand in a large crowd, which is a large group of people gathered together. They were all there for the annual lottery, a deeply respected tradition, a belief or custom passed down through generations that the villagers refused to change. The ritual officially began when Mr. Summers arrived in the square carrying a very old, faded black wooden box. A ritual is a series of actions always performed in the same way as part of a ceremony. This black box had been used for many years. It was splintered and stained, but the villagers were hesitant to replace it. Hesitant means being slow to move or act because of fear or doubt. They felt that a new box might disturb the ancient spirit of the tradition. Mr. Summers placed the box on a three-legged stool and started the alphabetical call. One by one, the heads of each family walked forward to draw a small slip of paper from the box. The air grew heavy with suspense as the men held their papers tightly in their hands, not daring to look at them until everyone had finished. There was no more joking or light conversation. When Mr. Summers finally gave the signal to open the papers, a tall, heavy silence fell over the crowd before a whisper moved through the square. "It's the Hutchinsons. Bill's got it." Suddenly, Bill's wife, Tessie Hutchinson, began to scream that the drawing wasn't fair and that Bill hadn't been given enough time to choose. The villagers, however, ignored her protests, focusing only on the final, dark stage of the ritual. To them, the rules were more important than the person. Mr. Summers put 5 slips of paper back into the box for the 5 members of the Hutchinson family. One of those slips had a large, hand-drawn black dot on it. Each family member, including the young children, had to draw a paper. When they were all opened, the crowd saw that Tessie held the one with the black dot. Immediately, the villagers, including the small children, moved toward the large pile of stones the boys had prepared earlier. Tessie stood alone in the center of a clearing, crying out desperately that it wasn't right, but the crowd was already upon her. In this village, the lottery was not about winning a prize. It was a dark sacrifice where the winner was stoned to death by their own neighbors to ensure a good harvest for the coming year. In today's story, we focused on words that describe how groups behave and how a story keeps us waiting for the end. Remember, a tradition is a long-established custom, while a ritual is the specific ceremony used to keep that tradition alive. We also saw how a crowd can be driven by a shared, sometimes dangerous history. Your homework for today is to tell me about a tradition in your country. Is there a specific ritual you perform every year? Is it a happy one or a serious one? Write it in the comments. Thank you for watching English Snap Lab. This story reminds us to always question a tradition if it is cruel or unfair. If you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe and share. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next story.